they get their funding from ISIS. So you cannot compare the effectiveness of Boko Haram to Maitatsine. And by the way, Maitatsine was never destroyed. The leader of Maitatsine, Haudu Maikori, was only killed during the Obasanjo regime in 2003. You can Google it and check it. Okay? Now, my question to you is this. You've spoken about the values of President Goodluck Jonathan. I would like to ask, what are the values of General Buhari? Hold on. Let me finish. Going by its antecedents, the General Buhari that we know is a coupist, is somebody who truncated a legally installed government, and by all means and circumstances, he should actually be in jail. But he wants to be rewarded with the altar of power. The General Buhari that we know tried Adekunle Ajasin 3 different times. Every single time they took Ajasin to a tribunal, the tribunal said this man is not guilty. He hauled him back to the tribunal, not guilty. Hauled him back, not guilty. And then he condemned him to prison permanently. The same person you are talking about killed Bartholomew Owo by a retroactive decree. A decree that he backdated and killed one of them that was even underage when a crime was committed. He has not apologized for the crimes he committed against Nigeria. In 2011, when there was electoral violence in the north because of his utterances, those INEC coppers that were killed, he has not apologized for his death. And after that, he still spoke about the dog and the baboon whose blood are going to be shed. And yet, we are talking about electoral violence. He has made statements severally about Sharia. And at a time, he said only Muslims should only vote for Muslims. And you are talking about his values. Can I know the values of General Buhari, sir?
Oh, very good.
Excuse me. Before you respond, can we try and limit these interventions to 2 minutes so that we can have sufficient exchange?
Okay. Quickly, when you talk about Buhari's values, I am not going to respond to you. I'm going to read a few things. And when I read a few things, you understand what you're talking about. And the reason why I'm doing this is a man who is visionary might not say so, but other people can say. Chief Olufalaye on the 23rd of March said, Buhari has 3 qualities, namely integrity, which even his worst enemies can't fault. He is consistent. He does not say one thing in the morning and another at night, and is committed to implementing and restructuring the country. Anyone with these qualities deserves the support of Nigerians. That is Olufalaye. Let me give you another one. Femi Falana states, Buhari stands out to be the most dedicated and patriotic leader. We want the president who will confront both the foreign and the local enemies of democracy. Now let me go straight to your answer. When people tell me Buhari was a coupist and they don't want to vote for him, it's a very old PDP trick. Why did we vote for Olusegun Obasanjo? Was he not a coupist? Yes. Hold on. You say he wasn't a coupist. Okay, so Muritala them took over, Abi, and then he was drafted in. If he was a man of integrity, he would have said no. Abi? So what happened? Now, could you, I have the mic, sir. Thank you.
The audience, you will have your time. Please, can you just listen to me?
So what I'm saying to you is anybody who participated in ruling as a military person should not be a Democrat again. That doesn't work, because even in America, let me tell you what happens. They recycle generals, because if you want a job done, says President Obama, give it to a veteran. When the UK was in problem, they faced a war they couldn't win. Who did they call? Winston Churchill. When America was in a war, in the Second World War, they called what? They called who? Eisenhower. So the issue of being a military head of state even prepares you, being a military man prepares you for leadership for such times as these. Now let's look at his excesses as a military man. How old was he when he was head of state? If you looked at the fact that he was a head of state at a very young era, or at a very young time in his career, he misused the power. But guess what? It was because he was a military head of state. Now, our democracy is developed. He will not have absolute powers. There will be the judiciary. There will be the legislature. Even Obasanjo, as dictatorial as he was, had to do what? Conform to the new dictates of a democracy. Now, look at the people he jailed. Now,
round it up. So
round it up. Thank you very much, sir. If you say he jailed Ajasin, I agree that he jailed Ajasin. And that could have been a one-off thing that happened that wasn't. But what about Nwobodo? The same Nwobodo that GEJ said did not steal anything was jailed by Buhari. He was released. This same man still went to the National Stadium when he was Minister of Sports and took the generator in the National Stadium, which could power 10 villages, took it to his village to use it for his mother's burial, and forgot to bring it back to Lagos. It was not your abeg, my neighbor generator. It was a mantra, CAT generator. Now, that is what happens when you don't need corruption in the board. There were a lot of people who sacrificed their lives for the fight against corruption, but I'm sure that that example will put fear in the minds of people now that don't try this man. No. If you steal 1 naira, he will nick you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Adebayo.
One last question. Thank you, Demola. Even though you didn't answer the question about the values of General Buhari, I never heard anything about his statements about Sharia, his statements about Muslim voting for Muslims, but that's okay. You made a statement while you were talking that he misused his power when he was military, but now under democracy, he will not have absolute powers. You made that statement. Now, he has made statements severally. I will jail corrupt people. I will put them in kirikiri. He's going to be operating under a democracy. He will not have absolute powers like you said it. He is surrounded by corrupt people to the right and to the left. How will he have the powers to jail people? I make it known to you that he is saying what he cannot do, and you cannot give what you don't have.
Thank you very much. Bayo, I really want to say thank you for your opinion, but it is your opinion. Now, when you look at, I don't have to say to you that the president is surrounded by corrupt men. Do I have to repeat that? I will not say it. If I leave that unsaid. But I will say to you that there is no political party anywhere in the world that is filled with saints. In fact, if you go to All Saints Church, you will find out that sometimes there is no saint there. And if you go to All Souls, you are likely to see only dead people. The All People's Congress, All Progressives Congress, is filled with all sorts of people. We have people who are bad. We have people who are good. But we have one thing going for us. We are tired of the ugly. Now, what is going to happen is very simple. When Buhari is sworn in, he has just one role: to provide leadership and vision. Now, what will happen is that Yemi Osinbajo will provide justice, equity. There is Babatunde Raji Fashola, who you all know is a beacon of excellence. Forget about it. We will assemble a team of stars who will deliver. It is different from the president's men. And let me read some of his men. His men are Femi Fani-Kayode, Doyin Okupe, Buruji Kashamu, and the one he just pardoned a few years ago, Dipriye Alame Sega. There is Ayo Fayoshe. There is Sule Lamido, whose 2 sons are in the EFCC net for corruption. Who else do I mention? There is Lucky Gbinedion, you know, and the president, and it was rumored as well that the president paid a visit to a prison in the UK recently to visit the Odidigbo of Ogara, and I'm talking about Ibori. Now, so, what I say to you is very simple. We have corrupt people in APC. But the point is, all of them are going to know that it's either they ship in or shape out. The reason is because, look, one of the things I find wrong with those of us who are professionals is that we are puritanists. There is no single political party in the world. In fact, even if you go to churches, sometimes they take your purse or your wallet. What does that tell you? That even in the church, people are not listening to the word. So what I'm saying to you is, every political party doesn't have an entry gate. You will have people who will come there for one reason or the other.
Just a correction. Just a correction. You mentioned something about Olufalaye saying something about Buhari. Yes. But I just Googled something now, and everybody can Google it. Just Google Olufalaye on Buhari, and you will see where it says Falaye calls on Yoruba to reject Buhari and APC. clearly stating, just use your iPad and Google it now.
Okay.
Falaye, 2 days ago, Falaye calls on Yoruba to reject Buhari and APC. So when we are informing people, we should not misinform them.
No.
We should tell them the correct information.
That particular, I said it to you that Olufalaye said that in 2007. Whether the largesse has gotten to him now and he has changed his mind, I don't know. But what I'm saying to you,
thank you very much,
was that he said it in 2007.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Now,
please, can we give both presenters a round of applause? They have been sterling. They have been sterling. I am sure you have all been informed. You are a lot better informed about the situation we find ourselves. Thank you very much. Can you please settle down and now? Thank you very much. That is the spirit. That is what we are trying to establish. Fighting good and fighting clean. Thank you. Now, we know that you too have some information. We know that you too have something to offer. We know that there are things bubbling in your mind as they were talking. So we are going to have a period of 15 minutes now for you to react, give your own information, ask questions, and let's see how that goes.
Good evening. My name is Folu Bademosi. And I just want to read. Sorry, I know this is not church. But this morning, I didn't even know that this program is going to hold. And this morning, in Psalm 12, I was just meditating on it. And something came to me strongly and said, politicians speak idly, everyone with his neighbor, with flattering lips and a double heart, they speak. Politicians speak idly, everyone with his neighbor, with flattering lips and a double heart, they speak. And here today, we've had people talking about what they see or what they've heard, and more about what they read in newspapers or what one politician say about the other person. If you don't have a practical experience about politics or about knowing the kind of things these people do behind, closed doors, you can never, at any point in time, be in a position to want to decide on which side you want to be.
Please round it up, 2 minutes.
But one thing I want us to know, and the lady that talked about the PVC said it while we were here. And he said Esther was in the palace for a time like this. And one thing that had always been my own personal conviction about politics is that we are in Nigeria for a time like this. And it's not for us to even think about Jonathan or Buhari. There are 8 or 10 others that we really need to look at and decide. So I don't want to talk about this side or that side.
Thank you very much.
Let's look deeper.
Thank you
and
very
God
much.
will help us.
Thank you very much.
Because of time, I will quickly introduce myself. My name is Egbeleke Aderokpo. I'm based in The Hague, Netherlands. So when we are talking about security, I'm an expert. I'm doing my MPhil in counterterrorism and international security in Leiden. And I've been studying Boko Haram for the past 4 years. You can Google my thesis, Rethinking Boko Haram, the contemporary perspective of Nigerians, diasporans, the youth. You will have more information about what you said. Everything you talk about security, it doesn't work. Yeah, I have good news for you. Because what I'm about to tell you is to evacuate all the misinformation from the Buhari side to you and put the genuine information. Number one, when we are talking about good governance, no one man can rule. We are talking about an incorruptible Buhari in the presence of his corrupt Senate. It's not possible. Who demystify EFCC? After we know that EFCC, bad or good, the fear of EFCC is the beginning of wisdom. Yes or no? But after, what did they do to Ribadu? They went after him. They destroyed him. They brought him down. Who did that? It was the parliament, the Senate. You are ready to vote a corrupt senator on the name of change APC plus Buhari? No. A president doesn't have power to tell a governor how to rule his state. A governor that has immunity clause. It's not working. A governor that has immunity clause is not working. And also, we're talking about poverty. I always say that poverty, if you don't believe in figures, poverty is a state of mind. We are poor in Nigeria, yes or no? How many weddings, burial ceremonies, useless spending and extravagant spending? I live in Netherlands, we use bicycle. The Prime Minister of Netherlands and the Chief of Staff use bicycle. Do you know how many weddings? 100, it cannot be more than 200,000. So please, check your spending. You are earning 40,000, you have 2 kids, and you have a pregnant woman. That is poverty. Pure poverty.
Please, the presenters can take the point if they need to respond after.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tokweoye Odunton. I'm a member of TBN here, and I also represent a group, Social Security Rights Group.
Please, let's listen.
Social Security Rights Project. I just want to say this, that I actually don't want to be partisan, Paul, but for this reason, for the fact that we have to take a decision, for me, I shift on Buhari's side because of 2 things. I want to see a change. I feel Buhari is a reasonable alternative for us now, because I don't believe Nigeria can survive going through the next 4 years with Jonathan. For me, I don't have anything personal animosity against Jonathan as a president, but I believe for some things he has done, fine, all these things we are told he did, roads, all those things, every other government have done so. Obasanjo, even to me, Obasanjo did better. Corruption-wise, Obasanjo was in Obasanjo's government. I saw something we have never seen before in Nigeria. A serving minister, a serving government official was sent to jail during his time. You see, I believe Jonathan should have been more proactive, more articulate, and more decisive. You see, I believe
Please
Jonathan would have put corruption, taken corruption as a serious thing, and let us know that he's really working on it. So, for me, I believe Buhari is a reasonable alternative in the sense that we know his antecedents. He might be brutal about human rights, something in the past. But let me tell you something, he did it for national steadfastness. So I want to believe Buhari is a reasonable alternative.
Thank you.
So I'll believe
General comments.
Thank you, sir. I'm Chukweku Ivan, and I'm here to speak to all of us. But I'll begin with a question. Does Buhari have to become the president first before advising the president of Nigeria from his wealth of experience as a general? And for Jonathan, he increased the money being paid to ex-presidents from about 2-point-something billion to 5.5 billion. They share that money amongst themselves so that they can become was somehow not necessary. And I would like to tell us Nigerians, we shouldn't have to wait to another 4 years of election before our presidents begin to give us details and accounts of how they are using our money. The change we are actually asking for is the change wherein those in the seat of power become afraid of the people they are leading, because the people will demand accountability on a daily basis. We shouldn't wait until another election. Otherwise, I would advise that we should be having election every six months so that our presidents will give details, so that the opposition will speak.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. The point is made. No more on that side until after. They came in after we stopped the line. Yeah. If we have more time, we'll take both. There are even this line too. The 2 people behind the man in Ankara came in after.
My name is Pomile Egbedayo. I'm a member of this church. President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan has really tried. He has tried his best. And we have seen his performance in the past 6 years. I don't know how many of us remember 1984/1985. Our economy was at its best. Naira was being, a dollar was being changed for 3 naira under the rule of Buhari. And Nigerians were highly disciplined. There was orderliness, education. When he became the minister in charge of PTF, he supplied free books to all schools in the north, in the south. I believe if he could transform Nigeria under 2 years, there was complete transformation in this nation. Why don't we try and give him 4 years? Let us see what he will do. Thank you.
Thank you. General comments. General comments. Yo, after
the Lord. My name is Shegun Jayola. I'm happy to be here because I got information about this very lately, but I thank God that I'm here. But what I want to talk about, because this is a church thing, I want us to look beyond. Sorry. What I mean is that we have Christians here, we have other people here. Or when you talk about the issue of corruption, I want to lay the blame on either the president, either the current one or the one coming. Thank God, Buhari was once a leader in this nation, and he ruled for some time. He was also, the chairman of PTF. And we know all what I was expecting the man here to come and give us a managed PTF. He was a micro Nigeria. And you should have seen that there was no justice in it, but I don't want to start passing comment. But one thing I know is that when you talk about the issue of corruption, to judge Nigeria, to judge any leader, the issue of corruption, that's what we call covetousness, is each problem of Nigeria as a whole. We want a leader who can see beyond. And I don't see a leader who is corrupt either with 1 naira or 20 naira. Once you are corrupt, you can't change anything. Corruption is corruption. If you are corrupt, not understanding the evil of stealing, of anything, then you cannot change anything. I'm expecting a leader who can understand the spiritual problem. In fact, I believe corruption is a spiritual problem.
Thank you very much.
It's a spiritual problem. It's not a...
Quickly.
Thank you very much. I'm Akini Latif. I just want to talk briefly on Buhari. Atiku could have easily won the primary election of APC because we know he has money. But everybody voted for Buhari because of his integrity. And in Acts chapter 1 verse 1, the Bible says what Jesus began to do and teach. If a man can say something, I can do it, I think that man should be commended for that. I quickly want to ask this question. The House of Assembly invited our petroleum minister to come and give them the stewardship account, how she has been managing the affair of the ministry. She has not gone once. And the president has not found his time to ask her to go if you are sure your hands are clean. So how will someone be working for me and will not be able to tell the person the House of Assembly is expecting you, and she has not gone for once? And Buhari, who happened to be the petroleum minister, he does not have any petrol station as I'm talking. I heard it that legally the previous head of states, they are entitled to 23 million naira per month. Buhari said it's too outrageous. That why will he be collecting 23 million naira? Why they should be giving him 2.3? Not any other head of state. So
you'll have your chance.
Looking at that,
please
Jonathan,
round it up. We have
Jonathan spent a lot of money in campaigning. Buhari, I've never met him as a person before. I've not been partisan. I'm not a member of APC. But a man who has never given a dime to anybody to campaign for him, and everybody is actually campaigning for him. I was looking for the account last year. I need to pay. I need to support this mission, this movement.